Final round. Fight. Flawless victory.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sports Drip Live alongside my brother Enrique Contreras. My name's Jose Contreras, and what a great episode we have in store for you guys today. We're brought to you by Star 6 Media. If you guys are watching it, you're watching it on our platforms, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, regardless. Make sure to hit that follow button, like all of our content, our content, our pictures, our videos, our reels. We put a whole bunch of cool stuff out there for you guys. Follow us, and be a part of the Star 6 community. There's a bunch of podcasts that we put out, from all types of sports. And this podcast specifically, we're talking MMA, we're talking wrestling, we're talking boxing. And what a great episode, as I mentioned, that we have for you guys today. But first and foremost, let me introduce to you guys my co-host, my brother from the same mother, Enrique Contreras. Ricky, what's up, man?
What's up? What's up? Welcome everybody to the show. We got a good show, as my brother said, for you guys, and let's get to it.
Yes, let's get right into it. And first and foremost, we gotta, like, as we meant, as we hate doing this, right? Because it's never. I guess there's no death that's timely, right? But we always try to put our best foot forward. We always try to give credit to credit's due, and give our respects to those who who are in the business and the industry that we talk about, whether it's MMA, boxing, wrestling, the guys who put their bodies on the line, their livelihoods on the line, and in this particular topic, we have a wrestler who passed away, in Jay Briscoe, part of the Ring of Honor. He was a tag team champion with his brother. Jay Briscoe passed away from a head-on collision in a car accident, man.
Yeah,
that left him and the other driver dead, and his two daughters, who I believe was like 12 and 14, critically injured. Like I said, sad news, but we would definitely want to pay our respects and talk about Jay Briscoe. Ricky, you were just talking to me a little bit before we started the show. Jay Briscoe, great matches. The match that him and his brother just had with FTR in that dog collar match, man. It's sad to see it. We've seen the entire rest of the community come together. What are your thoughts on the situation?
This is tragic, man. Just the way that everything happened. They said that he was on his way taking his daughters to a cheerleading practice at their school, no fault of his own, and they were on the two-lane road, and then for whatever reason, I believe it was a woman who was driving another truck, just veered onto the onto the other side of the road and head-on collision, and both died instantly, and both his daughters, I believe one was almost paralyzed from the waist down, but last I checked, she's recovering, she's doing better. His youngest daughter, I believe, had a broken tibia, which is, we've seen those injuries in MMA, so those are very brutal. I mean, just brutal injuries, but she's recovering. So that's the only positive that we could see here, is that his daughters, are recovering. But it's just sad to see that they went through that pain and then they lost their father, which hits home for me, man. Because and for you too. We're fathers. We have kids, and that from all accounts, that everybody that was talking about Jay Briscoe, man, this guy was the father of the year. Very, very devoted to his family. Very devoted to his two daughters and his one son that he has, and just the love that this guy was getting from the wrestling community, not just in AEW, but in WWE, Triple H, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn. Michael Cole has made mention of him on the broadcast, even in NXT as well. So it's just, the the love that this man is getting is undeniable, and what he meant to the wrestling business, in and out.
Yeah, the wrestling community is one family. Regardless of where you wrestle, what promotion you work for, a lot of these guys know each other from the past. A lot of these guys respect what they do in the ring. Because that type of business, it takes away from family. You know,
Yeah,
and the rest, your I guess your counterparts, your peers in the wrestling business are your family as well. So you spend tremendous amount of time with these guys. You basically put their lives in your hands, and they put your lives in theirs when you guys are stepped into those ropes, because a lot of the moves that they make, a lot of the moves that they do and perform are dangerous and could potentially hurt somebody, right? So
right.
they definitely, you feel for them as well. And as you mentioned, you feel for his kids. Something that's routine as just going to cheerleading practice. You don't wake up knowing or expecting something like this to happen, and that's what makes life so precious, is the fact that anything, it could end literally in any minute. You don't know what day's going to be your last.
Right. You can't take
And
life for granted.
you really can't. You really can't. And like even for us, we're fans of wrestling. We're fans of MMA. We're fans of
Mhm.
boxing. And like I said, we see these people. We see these guys on the TV performing. They do it for us. They do it for a living for their family, but they also do it for us. And we definitely gotta appreciate when we do see them, because you never know when they might be the last. And for those, for Jay Briscoe fans and the Briscoe brothers, man, like it's gonna suck not seeing them
Yeah.
together at least again in the ring.
Right. Right, man. Because these guys are considered one of the greatest tag teams in wrestling in the past 20 years.
Yep.
Because they got their start where they got notoriety in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So 20 years ago, and they called Ring of Honor their home for the past 20 years. They've been there since the beginning. They've been there for a very long time. They've been in there with a lot of guys that we see in WWE and AEW. Guys like Kevin Owens, who was Kevin Steen at the time. As a matter of fact, Jay Briscoe, I saw that match too. He beat Kevin Steen for the world title there in Ring of Honor during his singles run.
Yeah.
And then with his brother Mark Briscoe, they won the tag team titles, I don't know, 13 times, I believe, against guys like the Second City Saints. Believe it or not, CM Punk and Colt Cabana when they were best friends and they were a tag team. That was one of the teams that they beat. I remember seeing that match too. They were in the ring with the Young Bucks, with the Hardy Boys. They were in there with Kevin Steen and El Generico, who we know as Sami Zayn now in
Yep.
WWE.
Yep.
So a lot of great matches, but then you look at the past year that they had, the trilogy that they had with FTR. They had 3 matches with FTR for both the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, and I believe also the AAA and maybe the New Japan Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championships. All 3 matches were great. Great
Yeah.
match. I mean, matches of the year were these 3 matches. And FTR won the first 2, and then finally the Briscoes regained the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships last month in the Dark Color match at Final Battle, which is one of the best matches I've seen all year. Bloody. I mean, everything is there. Everything that you're looking for in a real wrestling match, where there's ring psychology and then there's brutality and just a fierce rivalry. That is what you got in that match, especially with these 2 guys. I mean, FTR is also considered one of the greatest tag teams in the modern era,
One
and
hundred
that
percent.
and absolutely, and the Briscoes are there too. They've always been there.
Yeah.
So, and man, it's just sad that these guys these guys were so good, bro. I mean, the Briscoe brothers, not only were they so good in the ring, they were good on the mic. These guys were like country boys, like rednecks from Delaware.
Right.
That was their gimmicks. That was their
Right.
gimmicks. But also the look, bro. I think this is something that's missing in wrestling today. A lot of wrestlers today, they smile, they do poses, stuff like that. These guys look legitimately tough. These guys look like they can kick your ass, or they just like batshit crazy. That's how these guys look, and I believe that's what's missing, man. Like a lot of like, remember back in the Attitude Era when Stone Cold Steve Austin would come out with a mean look on his face, looking like he's ready to brawl. That
Right.
that that was the Briscoes from day one. That's how they up until their last match.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that is the one thing I appreciate about them. But it's just sad that they didn't get to go. They weren't able to perform on the biggest stage because they had interest from WWE and
Yeah.
they had interest from AEW, but you know certain things happen, that we'll get into that prevented that for them.
Yeah, we can get into it right now. Um, you know, we did get tributes. When we're not really tributes. Like we seen wrestlers with armbands that have the JB or J. We've had you know, we have, as you mentioned, commentators and all the companies, AEW, WWE,
Mhm.
or SmackDown, NXT, whatever. They were, they mentioned and they gave their respects, right?
Yeah.
But we haven't seen a tribute show happen for someone like Jay Briscoe, and which is to me a little bit. I thought it was a little bit weird that like usually we're so used to like when someone passes away, a wrestler like in WWE, you would have
Right.
all the wrestlers in the beginning come out. They would do like a tribute for him, ring the bells, right? I
Right.
I didn't think AEW was gonna do that per se, but I thought they were gonna do something a little bit more, impactful for Jay on
Mhm.
the Dynamite the day after or whatever, and they didn't. Can you elaborate as to why?
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, Tony Khan actually wanted to do something similar to what the Brody Lee tribute show was after he had passed away. He
Yeah,
wanted to do something similar because after all, the Briscoes are under they were the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and they were under contract to Ring of Honor, which
yeah,
Tony Khan owns, right?
yes,
So we got to go back about a decade, about a little over a decade ago. All right, and this is when the Briscoe brothers were in. They were in Ring of Honor. They were younger. They were fully when they were on Twitter. They were fully in gimmick. And Jay Briscoe, for whatever reason, started putting out some homophobic tweets on Twitter. I believe one of them was in reference to, from what I read, I guess the state of Delaware, the Senate or whatever, apparently was approving gay marriage, and him in full character said something about tell my kid, his tweet was something like this, like tell my kids that it's all right, that this is all right, and I'll shoot you or something like that. He said something to that effect. I don't remember
yeah,
word for word, but he said, basically threatened to shoot whoever tells his kids that it's okay to be, gay and get married or whatever. So that's what got him in. That's basically what hindered their career because WWE had interest at the time, and when those tweets came out, WWE, as WWE, they don't like bad publicity. They want to steer clear away from that.
you
So
would you would think they don't like bad publicity, but with what's going on with Vince and everything, right? But we're
if
not
it
gonna
if
get
it,
to
if
that
it
in
had,
our conversation.
right, if it has to do with hey, you know what? I guess it's a double standard, right?
Right, no, it's 100%. But okay, but I get what you're saying. Regardless of the fact, it wasn't a good look to sign someone who is
Yeah,
in the limelight like that negatively
yeah.
for sure.
I guess at the time when he put out the tweet, at the time WWE had interest, but then they saw some of the drawback from it and be like, okay, you know what? Let's talk later. Let's let this die down, whatever. I guess. And
Yeah,
then by the time WWE wanted to bring him into NXT, which I believe was in 2015, the Briscoes decided to sign another full time deal with Ring of Honor because after all, in Ring of Honor, the schedule was lighter. They were able to be with their families, which I think was a plus for them
right,
because they were all about their families and stuff. So that worked out for them, and plus they had a chicken farm and stuff like that. They, country boys is what
right,
they were.
right,
So,
right.
but because of the but here's the thing too, man. Because of those tweets, even to this day, still hindered them because Tony Khan, when he started AEW, he so desperately wanted these guys to be part of the roster. He wanted to bring these guys into the tag team division in AEW. But then there's a higher up executive in Warner Brothers Discovery, which owns TNT and TBS, where Dynamite and Rampage are on, told Tony Khan, "We don't want this guy. We saw the tweet that he put over 10 years ago. We don't want him here." And according to reports, Tony Khan tried multiple times to convince them to let them come in. They showed, hey, this guy he's very remorseful. He apologized numerous times, even up to the point where members of the LGBTQ community who were wrestlers embraced him, accepted his apology, and after his passing, showed a lot of love for him after his
Yep.
passing. But even that wasn't enough to make the executives at Warner Brothers Discovery budge at all. So then of course, then this tragedy happens last week, and then Tony Khan wants to throw a tribute show on Dynamite. This past Dynamite was supposed to be a tribute show for Jay Briscoe.
Yeah.
You know, something similar to Brody Lee when he passed away,
Right.
and they still said no.
Oof.
These people still said no, even though, and we'll get to this later too. We'll talk about this later, but they were all right with Dana White, who was caught in public slapping his wife, right, in public, caught in public, and then allowing, and then having a show come right after Dynamite, having Dynamite lead into a league that pretty much promotes concussions in the power slap league. You know, apparently that wasn't a step too far for Warner Brothers Discovery, but a guy who just put out a stupid tweet and admitted it was a stupid tweet and admitted to his mistakes wouldn't allow even a tribute show for this man. We even had Nick Gage, if you remember, against Chris Jericho, a guy who was a drug addict, convicted for robbing a bank, and even stabbed David Arquette in the throat during their match in GCW.
Oh my God.
Right? That guy somehow made it onto Dynamite, onto TNT, but not Jay Briscoe. That's fucked up, man. I mean, I think that is seriously fucked up from these people, and it's just like, man. I know the TV rights deal is coming up for AEW. It's coming up, where they're negotiating another
Yeah.
TV rights deal. But if I'm Tony Khan, this is something that's probably going to be in the back of my mind, that they would not allow a tribute show for a man who did nothing wrong. He passed away in front of his daughters. I'm just hoping another network comes up, offers them the money that they want. Another major network offers them money, and they can get away from Warner Brothers Discovery. Because whoever this executive is just straight up fucked up, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you that you would hope something like this doesn't happen again, in the future. First off, definitely wouldn't want to see anybody pass away like that, especially in front of their kids. Secondly, if that were, God forbid, if that were to happen, they should be able to be honored and with their peers, in front of their friends and families.
Yeah.
I agree. It's messed up that they weren't able to perform a tribute show.
Right.
Um,
I'm not minimizing either what he said. What he said was in that tweet.
Yeah.
It was stupid. It was tone deaf.
But as you mentioned, it was something that was already forgiven by a lot of people in that community.
Yeah.
In the LGBT community, and then it was something that was like basically he was able to come back from, you know what I mean, and admit he was wrong, do his due diligence to be a better person, so at the very least should have been granted a tribute show for sure. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
But you're right. If it's because contract negotiations are coming up with the TV deals and everything, maybe Tony Khan just let it be. It's all right. Well, I guess if we can't do it, whatever, because
he might not have a choice. Yeah, he probably just will have to stick with. But
it's a business. At the end of the day.
Yeah, it is business.
Yeah,
but we see the kind of person Tony Khan is, and
yeah,
I'm sure that hurt him deeply.
Absolutely,
that he was not able to do that.
Yeah,
Jay Briscoe. So
for sure,
we'll see, man. Yeah, so we'll see, man.
One thing about Tony Khan, he's a fan just like us all, but at the same time, he really loves this business, and you could tell he really takes care of his people, man. He lets them do a lot of things that they can do financially. He allows them to make their own money, gives them creative control of a lot of their characters, and that's great. So definitely he was struggling for sure with this one. Shame on Warner Brothers for not allowing it.
Yeah, shame on them, man.
And hopefully something gets done to where it doesn't happen again in the future.
Yeah, but other than that, to move on, just rest in peace, Jay Briscoe.
Absolutely,
rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. And thanks for all the matches, for putting your body on the line for everybody, all the fans, and for your peers.
Absolutely.
Rest in peace.
And we hope his daughters get well soon, man. And I know it's never going to be the same for them losing a father,
right.
But just for them, at least for someone just to get back, to somewhat what a normal life can be for them, and they heal from this both physically and mentally.
Yeah,
for sure.
That makes me sad, man.
Yeah. And as we mentioned, whenever we pay tribute to someone who passed away in these industries, it's never hard to move on from. At the same time, we have to for for the show's sake, and we
It's never
will.
yeah, well, it's never easy to move on. Yeah,
Never, yeah, I'm sorry, never easy to move on from,
right.
but we do it, we do it. All right, moving on. Let's move on to WWE, Ricky. Monday Night Raw, the 30th anniversary was today. Great show. I enjoyed it. I watched it. It started off with the Bloodline coming out
hmm
and having a trial for Sami Zayn. There's, they've been coming up that you could tell that this is getting almost to the end of this storyline. For so
Right.
long, Sammy was, he had to prove himself into the Bloodline. Then he was in the Bloodline. You thought he proved himself at War Games, and then for whatever reason, once this feud started with Roman Reigns, you started to see them lose more and more trust with him because of the history he has with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. I'm talking about.
hmm
So they had a trial. Roman Reigns obviously being the judge. You have the defense attorneys and the Usos. It looked like you had the prosecutor um in Paul Heyman.
Right.
It looked like Solis Cole was the bailiff, right? Just standing right there by the judge and Roman Reigns.
Right.
And then the jury, the WWE universe. This was
Jesus.
so this was so
Jesus.
whoever thought of this needs a raise. This was so thought out. This was perfect. It was very enjoyable to see. This is what they started off with. Obviously, Hulk Hogan came out with Jimmy Hart to
hmm
introduce Raw's 30 or whatever. But after that, right? After that, this happened. And this was a great way to lead the show. I think this was amazing. I loved it. I loved every second of it. I really, really did. They were in Philadelphia. Paul Heyman um threw shots at the Philadelphia Eagles, who are in the playoffs,
hmm
right? They're facing the San Francisco 49ers this week in the conference championship game, right?
Right.
The Usos and Roman Reigns are 49er fans. I don't know if you knew that. They're
I
they're big 49er fans.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they definitely threw a shot at the Philadelphia Eagles. The quarterback of the 49ers is named Brock Purdy. So, Paul Heyman was like, they're gonna get beat by Brock Purdy. Hilarious.
Oh, that's
This was
perfect.
this
That's
was
perfect.
perfect. Dude, I love Paul Heyman. In Philadelphia, they were chanting ECW when he was
Oh
talking.
yeah, that's ECW town. Yep.
Yeah, they were chanting ECW. Paul Heyman was very like, you could tell he had a smile on his face, and then he was like, "My tribal chief, ECW is now dead, just like the Philadelphia Eagles will be when they face the 49ers." It was good. It was so good from the jump. I loved every second of it. Paul Heyman then put out a video of evidence as to why Sami Zayn is not to be trusted. Basically, made his case as to why he should be removed from the bloodline. Sami Zayn took offense to all that. He was really mad. He took offense to it. He gave his little spiel, told him why it hurt him, that they think that of him. Roman Reigns was mad that he was upset. Roman Reigns was mad that Sammy was mad.
Right.
Roman Reigns said, "Look, if you're gonna act like I didn't think you were gonna act like this, you shouldn't be so offensive." He was like, "If anything, you should be begging me to not kick you out of the bloodline." Right. So
Right.
that was interesting to me because to me that showed me that Sami Zayn did have a little bit of a rebellion. Sort of like how dare you say that I'm not loyal? You know what I mean?
Right.
And whenever someone like Paul Heyman was questioned when Roman had that rivalry with Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman would beg and plead for his position next to Roman Reigns, right?
Right.
So I understood why Roman was mad. It's like, oh, this is great because like why isn't Sammy begging and pleading to be in the bloodline? No, he's actually taking up arms. It seems like in a way. So Roman's like, you know what? If that's how you're gonna be, then forget you. Solo, take care of him. So Solo wasn't gonna take him out
hmm
until Jey Uso stopped him and said, "Hold on." And then he gave his defense as to why Sammy should stay in the bloodline. Put up a whole package deal, showed clips of every time Sammy took bullets from them and blah blah blah. then Roman Reigns after seeing that, he was like, you know what? You're not guilty. You're gonna, for now, you're gonna stay in the bloodline for now. He said, you're gonna work tonight, do what you gotta do to help the Usos, but then I don't want to see you until Saturday. I don't want to
Mm.
see you until Saturday, where you're gonna finally prove
At the Royal
that
Rumble.
you belong, and that's at the Royal Rumble against Sami Zayn's former best friend, Roman Reigns' opponent, Kevin Owens. So I bring all this up, right?
Right.
Because the next topic we have is what's going to happen with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And then we're also going to preview the Royal Rumble. So this is perfect, right? Like, so all this that I just talked about is leading up to the Royal Rumble, and we all know how significant the Royal Rumble is when it
Yeah.
comes to the main event of WrestleMania,
Yep.
right?
Right.
So here we are.
Yep.
Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Universal Championship, WWE Universal Championship. I think we're all in agreement. Roman Reigns does not lose it here at Royal Rumble,
Right.
right? I'd be shocked. However, if this comes to an end, because that's what it seems like the Sami Zayn whole thing, like it's not gonna, it's obviously not gonna end here, but it feels like this is where we're gonna get the questions answered. Is like, okay, where are you guys going with this storyline, right?
Right. Right.
So, what do you? I want to ask you, Ricky. What do you think is going to happen first and foremost with Roman Reigns and the Sami Zayn storyline going on with the Usos and the Bloodline or whatever? Can you see Sami Zayn betraying Roman Reigns? Can you see Kevin Owens maybe then winning the title or the titles off Roman because and Sami Zayn stopping them, and then maybe you have a match? I don't know. Like there's man, so much to go by here. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I think what I think might happen at the Royal Rumble is Sami Zayn is gonna be, or I guess Roman Reigns is probably gonna call him out there. I guess with the Usos to try to interfere as they always do with Roman's matches.
Right.
And I think that's where Sami Zayn is going to be conflicted as to what he wants to do. Does he attack it? Does he help his tribal chief or does he help his best friend Kevin Owens? And I think that ultimately he's gonna turn on Roman Reigns. I think he's gonna hit him with a haluva kick or something like that. But I still don't think it's gonna be enough for him to beat for Kevin Owens to win. I still think Roman is gonna win, but I think Sami Zayn is still gonna defect or leave the bloodline and stick with his friend Kevin Owens, and I guess try to attempt to help him win, but it'll backfire.
I can see that because there's been multiple reports that maybe the Usos will face Sami and Kevin Owens for the tag team titles, or
Mhm.
Sami and Kevin will face the Usos. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
for the Usos titles at WrestleMania. I
Right.
could see that happening, you know,
Mhm.
but
Because I have a hard time. I still have a hard time seeing Roman Reigns losing to Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble. At least
me
losing the
too.
championships. I have a hard time seeing that.
I
But
do too. I do too. I agree with you. I don't see Kevin Owens winning it all, but I can't see Sami Zayn winning the title. I look oh man. Here's the thing. You and I talked about what we think is going to happen at WrestleMania, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And we'll talk about this right after this segment. But we talked about maybe The Rock facing Roman at WrestleMania. There's been so many reports. Now there's
Mhm.
reports that there won't be, that's not going to happen anymore. But before we get into that, talking about the Sammy ordeal, right?
Yeah,
It almost seems right that he takes the belt off Roman. What's the ultimate betrayal? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like what's the point of it all? You know what I mean? Like all this has to end, or it should end in my book, with Sammy becoming champion, because I think that's the only logical reason for this storyline is if you're
right.
Sami Zayn, you're not doing this for Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn's never been that guy. He's always been that heel that's selfish, right? If
Okay.
you're doing this, if you're infiltrating the bloodline, you're doing it for one reason and one reason only, and that's for you to finally be on top of the mountain. It's like you're the spy. You're that
Right.
spy that infiltrates the country or whatever, right?
Hmm.
To benefit from whatever it is. So it's like Sammy, it's perfect. It makes perfect sense. If you're Sammy, you see how dominant Roman is, defeating everybody in his path with this dominant force of family and then the bloodline. How do you stop it? You infiltrate it from within,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's the perfect storyline for where he ends up champion. The only way that would happen, I think, is if he somehow, some way incorporated it into the match or into a match with Roman Reigns and somebody else, like a triple threat match.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That's
Right.
the only way. To me, that's the only way I feel like that makes sense,
Right. Right.
right? And then he takes the belt off him, and it's like holy shit! It's like a big moment. He finally makes it to the top, and blah blah blah. That's what I want to see. If that's a way, maybe they can get to WrestleMania. I'll
Right.
be okay with that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It makes sense, but I don't see it. I mean, I could see a match between them two at
Yeah,
WrestleMania, but I can't see Sami Zayn beating him. I don't know why. I don't see it.
he's over, man. The
You,
crowd, like I'm telling you, like if you would have watched the Raw, like dude, he is over right now. And I feel like WWE does this a lot with wrestlers that have been loyal to them for so many years that who's been sacrificing their body, their livelihoods, their family time. You see it, right? They did it with Kofi Kingston recently.
right?
Before Kofi, who was it? No, it was Big E. I'm sorry, with Big E, and
Big
then
E
before him it
and
was
then
Kofi.
Kofi.
Yeah,
Yep. They even
Naomi.
did it with Daniel Bryan
Yeah,
back in the day.
Daniel
He got
Bryan back
over
in the day.
organic. Yep. He got
Yeah,
over organically with the crowd, and they didn't have no plans to put a
yep,
title on him,
right.
and they went with him.
And he went with him, and he won, and in a triple threat match at WrestleMania, where he
Yeah.
won the undisputed. He had two belts. He won the undisputed championship.
Right.
Right? They
So
could do something similar with Sami Zayn. I wouldn't see why not. You know what I
so who
mean?
would be the third guy then? Let's say in this triple threat.
I
Who would
feel
be
like
that
I
third?
feel like I feel like it only makes sense for it to be Kevin Owens. You know what I mean? That's my thing. Like what they should have done was maybe get Sammy to be a champion at Royal Rumble. I don't know.
But
I
then
don't know
here's
how
the
this
but then here's the problem. Then we got the Royal Rumble itself. And
exactly.
the winner of that gets a guaranteed shot at one of the titles or both. So how does that work out?
That's the thing. That's why to me WWE is in such a mess. Obviously, I'm just explaining to you why what I think should happen at
Hmm.
the scheme of this all, like this, like at the end of this, at the climax of this storyline, right?
Right.
I truly believe and feel that the end of this storyline should incorporate Sami Zayn winning the titles. Just like you, I don't see it happening because it doesn't make sense with what they're doing with the Royal Rumble with Roman facing Kevin
Yeah.
Owens,
And
and then
then
you have all these guys debuting like Cody Rhodes coming back at Royal Rumble and this and that. Like, so then what happens, right? And then you have rumors of maybe The Rock facing Roman at WrestleMania, maybe not anymore because The Rock isn't in ring shape or he doesn't feel like he'll be in ring shape ready for WrestleMania.
right.
And then there's reports of Stone Cold Steve Austin potentially being a match for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania that they're offering him an enormous amount of money to maybe be a contingency plan for if
Wow.
The Rock doesn't work. If that's true, it's a report, right? But if that's true, then what are we really doing here?
Oh, see, this. Yeah, it's very it's all convoluted. It's just a mess, because for the longest time they wanted to do The Rock versus Roman Reigns,
Which makes sense.
right? They're
That's
cousins.
that
They're
storyline makes sense,
yeah. Well, it's a spectacle. It's a spectacle. It's something that it's just like when The Rock faced Hulk Hogan. Nobody ever thought that would happen.
right?
When The Rock faced John Cena twice, nobody thought that
Yeah,
would happen. So this is another one of those spectacle, WrestleMania spectacles
yeah,
that people would love to see.
right.
The problem is that now and plus it's in LA, it's in Hollywood.
Yeah, but
It would have been perfect for The Rock.
but the storyline makes sense. Like we're talking storyline, right? Because I get when it comes to WrestleMania, all hell breaks loose, rules leave the window, right? Common sense leave the window because you want the best possible, like you said, spectacle or matchup to promote the biggest wrestling event of the year, right?
Right.
and it doesn't matter which company it is. That's WrestleMania clearly is the biggest, and you need that big time match, right? And the big time match, that spectacle, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
to lead it all. Roman Rock does that, but it also makes sense storyline wise. Why? Because Roman Reigns being the tribal chief, head of the family, head of the table,
Mhm.
a family where we know the Rock was so dominant. That's Rock's family. Rock
Yeah.
was and is that family, at least the head of the table, the most dominant, the most relevant, you name it, whatever, the biggest star
The
to
biggest
come out of
star.
that, the biggest star to come out of that family.
Hmm.
So for Roman to be like, no, this is me, I'm the guy, that makes so much sense for the Rock to come back, like, oh yeah, prove it. I'm still
Right.
here, basically,
Right.
type stuff, right? That's why to me that Rock Roman, I thought that was perfect because it gives you literally the spectacle that you asked for WrestleMania, and the storyline makes sense,
Right.
right? But now there's reports that he may not be ready in ring shape for WrestleMania. Now this could be just like to kind of throw people off because, like I said, this has been rumors forever, and that kind of gives away the surprise factor in all this, right?
Right. Right.
So maybe they're just trying to throw us a curveball here, but you never know. But
You're right, but if it doesn't happen, and that's his excuse that he doesn't think he'll be in ring shit, that's disappointing because, dude, you knew everybody wanted this match for like y- WrestleMania in LA was actually supposed to happen 2 years ago, and
yeah,
then they pushed it because of the pandemic.
COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah,
COVID. Yeah, whatever. And so you knew 2 years in advance. You knew WWE wanted to bring you in, to face Roman Reigns. It's just that I guess it just wasn't on his priority list. Because you knew in advance that they wanted to do this match, so you had more than enough time to get into ring shape. He's already in shape, but you see how jacked he is.
yeah.
But to get into ring shape, he had plenty of time to do that. So
He still does. Think about how much time it takes for you to film a movie. You gotta take time and months to read a script, learn the lines, learn the choreograph and all that, right? But it's the same for wrestling. How much like you could I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend to feel like the pretend. I'm not gonna pretend to be someone who knows how to get in wrestling shape, or
yeah,
how or whatever. Like just the dynamics
right,
of
right.
getting into
And,
wrestling.
and and then especially in his age,
Right.
he's
I
like
don't
what
know. Yeah, exactly. I don't,
50.
I don't know any of that, right? But you would assume with the amount of money that he has, with the amount of time that you should carve out time. Like in 3 months, we're in January. You know what I mean? You got the whole February, March. It's WrestleMania is usually in April.
Yeah,
2 months the most you have, maybe, right, to get in ring shape.
right.
And it's something that you've done before. You're very familiar with.
Yeah,
It's been a while, but we're not asking you to put on an hour long performance with all these crazy spots, right? Look what Stone Cold did last year with Kevin Owens, and that was very entertaining.
it was.
You know
Yeah,
what I
that was
mean?
that was a very Stone Cold Steve Austin match. I enjoyed it. I
Exactly.
loved it.
So if you're The Rock, you were never that guy to have all these type of crazy moves, anyways. Like all these like crazy spots in a match, anyway. So like you could definitely, and Roman can carry the match for you.
Yeah.
You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
And you have a lot of people in play, like the Usos, like Sami Zayn, who can come in and try to give time. Like all I'm saying is that you could do so much here.
He can. I think he just has other shit on his priorities.
Yeah,
The next movie. Because Black Adam, the Black Adam movie didn't do so well for him. So I guess he's trying to rebound and try to find
yeah,
what else he could do. Because I don't know. I guess people are getting tired of The Rock
yeah.
in Hollywood.
It's negative right now. His image is negative right now because of that Black Adam scandal. Well, I don't want to say scandal, but you know, he definitely had different plans for sure when it comes to that franchise and the DC franchise. But
Yeah.
regardless of that fact, so yeah, the reports he may not happen. What do you think about the reports that they may be in contact with Stone Cold Steve Austin? An enormous amount of money, more money that they offered him last year to do something with Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns versus Stone Cold Steve Austin is trust me, is a big match. Anywhere else, even WrestleMania, it's definitely a match, a spectacle made for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But then how does that make sense? You have Stone Cold then come out in the Royal Rumble and win it, And if that's the case, it's like, oh,
All Roman has to do is disrespect the great state of Texas, just like Kevin Owens did, and that'll bring Stone Cold out, right?
that or winning the Royal Rumble. And if I don't
Look,
know
look,
how I feel
look,
about
look.
that.
Yeah, like as much as that didn't make sense to me when Kevin Owens, the Kevin Owens and Stone Cold match him, that all it took for him was to disrespect Texas, and then he comes out of retirement after all these years. It didn't make sense to me, but I'm glad it happened though.
Yeah,
I
me
love the
too.
match. Yeah.
Yeah,
So a Roman Reigns versus Stone Cold Steve Austin match again is a spectacle. It is
right.
it's a match that everybody will remember.
Yeah.
Years on end. But yeah, I'm with you. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, they're gonna offer him a lot of money, but storyline wise, it doesn't make sense. It's just like I said, they're gonna have to do the same shit that Kevin Owens did. Have Roman Reigns appear in Texas and start disrespecting Texans and this and that, and then all of a sudden you hear the glass shatter, and here comes Stone Cold Steve
No,
Austin.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like that won't make sense. I feel like when it comes to like a title match like this,
Yeah.
you have to have him win the Royal Rumble. Right, Royal Rumble's this Saturday.
Oh, you know what? There we go. I think you just gave me an idea. What if Stone Cold Steve Austin is a surprise entrance into the Royal Rumble, and he's the one that wins it, not Cody Rhodes?
That's what I just said.
That's what you just said?
Yes.
Well, shit. My bad.
That's what I know. That's what I said. Like that's the only way it makes sense is that if he comes in and wins the Royal Rumble, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, then I agree with you. Then shit. I zoned out.
No, you're good. You're good. But no, but yeah, I mean that's the only way it makes sense. What if he comes in and wins it? I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know how I look. I know it's the obvious choice.
That's the only thing that makes sense for real.
No,
Yep.
well, no,
Him-
yeah, but I'm talking about like I know this is the obvious choice, but I really want Cody Rhodes to win the Royal Rumble. I really like if you're not gonna. I feel like this should be Plan B. This should have been Plan A, but when as far as the Rock goes, that I get it. That takes more precedence,
Yeah.
right? The Rock and Roman. But if
Mhm.
the Rock and Roman isn't gonna happen, then it has to be Cody and Roman. That's just me. I feel like
Yeah.
Cody comes in the Royal Rumble, wins it because again, you gotta talk about what you guys have done. And with Cody after his WrestleMania debut, right? After
Right.
defeating Seth Rollins, remember the Monday night afterwards? That big promo that he put. It was a beautiful, beautiful promo about his father always wanting to win the big one, passing away, and it never happened, right? And then he promising his dad before his dad passed away that he was going to do it for him and for his father.
Yeah.
That beautiful, beautiful promo that needs to come into fruition. If you're not going to do Rock and Roman, then you need to make good on what he did and what he said on that promise, that promo, because that's it. That storyline, chef's kiss. He comes back from a 9-month injury after tearing his pectoral muscle. Comes back in the Royal Rumble. He already declared he's coming back for the Royal Rumble. Wins it. Gets a shot at WrestleMania. Defeats. This is like almost a David versus Goliath because you have Roman Reigns who's been so dominant for so long, defeating everybody in path, and then here comes Cody Rhodes. And this would be the first time these guys ever really faced off, like this version of Cody Rhodes versus this version of Roman Reigns. And can you imagine just a story, full circle moment? Anti WWE for so many years, creates your own helps create AEW, and then leaves just to come here,
Hypocrite.
and now you defeat and now you defeat WWE's biggest star to make good on the promise you made you to do it. That's what needs to happen.
Here's the thing that bothers me though. I didn't like that he announced that he was going to be in. I think it should have been a surprise.
Look, I agree with you. I agree.
I think it should have been a surprise.
Yeah.
And look, and here's the thing. And because of it not being a surprise, because of him announcing that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, now makes me feel that he isn't going to win it.
Right.
Now that makes me feel what you just said. Maybe now Stone Cold Steve Austin will be the big surprise entrant, and then he's going to win. That's what's making me. Now that's making me.
So WWE, man.
It is
so WWE in a bad way. Look, and don't get me wrong. I'm probably going to enjoy the match between Stone Cold and Roman if it does happen.
Yeah.
Right. I would still watch WrestleMania regardless, no matter what, and probably still enjoy the match. It's just, to me, it's just like it doesn't make sense. Like
remember Vince McMahon's back, so And supposedly he's starting to influence creative a little bit. Triple H admit that they have conversations about creative. So don't discount that possibility, man. The old man is back in the company. If you've forgotten already.
Yeah, I did. But it's not that I forgot that he's back in the company. I just didn't think he was gonna like take over.
Oh,
You know
he's
what I
trying
mean?
to. He's taking over, bro. He's taking over. He's doing it slowly but surely. He's doing it. It's
Man,
just he's inevitable.
he's inevitable. Like Thanos, he's
Like
inevitable.
Thanos. Yep. Yep.
Oh
So if
man,
so, if that my guess is this, I think if that's what happens, I think Cody Rhodes' time will be SummerSlam. I think his time would be in SummerSlam when he
that
becomes
doesn't make
champion.
sense. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I personally, I feel like that's where they should go with Cody if they don't go with The Rock. But you're right. This is WWE. We're talking. Stone Cold comes out of nowhere, out of retirement, wins the Royal Rumble, and then
Mhm.
moves on to WrestleMania to face Roman Reigns just to lose to Roman Reigns again. And then we still have a part-time champion for another year and a half, if not half a year, for him to lose it. I don't know, man. That just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like if Roman, this historic run, this is probably one of the greatest characters you brought in since John Cena, right?
Right.
This has to end at WrestleMania. It should not end on SummerSlam. Like this historic run that he has, that run is made to end at a
Maybe
spectacle like WrestleMania.
maybe it ends at WrestleMania 40. WrestleMania 40, which is next year.
Yeah, but come on, man. That's another year.
Another year
That's
of
another
Roman
year with
Reigns.
a part-time champion on both brands. You can only do this for so long. It makes no sense whatsoever.
It doesn't. It doesn't. But
Then
it
I
does.
feel like if that happens, Ricky, then people are gonna get fatigued of Roman Reigns. I
Yeah.
love his character. I love everything about it.
There
But
are
I
some
think I'm
people that
gonna
are starting to. There are some people that are starting to fatigue. They're starting to have
yeah,
some
but
fatigue of it.
yeah, but they're bearing with it because they know WrestleMania is on the way, and they feel it too. Like that's where it should end. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's where it should end.
So yeah, let's get into some predictions, then, man. Who do you think wins the Royal Rumble?
Cody Rhodes. I
Cody
hope
Rhodes.
I
I
hope
got
it's Cody Rhodes. I hope it's Cody Rhodes.
I got Stone. Okay, look.
I don't. Stone Cold my man. I'm mad. It better not be.
All right.
How
All
about
right.
this? How about this? My heart says Cody. My head says Stone Cold Steve Austin.
All right. So who do you think would be the surprise entrant?
Well,
We
Stone
probably
Cold.
already.
I
Yeah.
think Stone
Okay.
Cold's gonna be the surprise
I
entrant.
I, I believe
Yeah.
that too, but I also think he's winning. Yeah, I believe if he's the surprise entrant, he wins the Royal Rumble
Yeah.
because he ain't gonna turn down. If this report is true, he is not gonna turn down all that money to face Roman Reigns. He's not.
All right. Give me. How about this? We'll give three people. Cody's my number one.
Right.
Stone Cold's my number two.
Mm-hmm.
My number three is Sami Zayn.
He's in it.
No,
He's in
I
the
don't
Royal.
know. Well, the thing is, like, they only show you 15 on the poster.
Mm-hmm.
Like throughout like Thursday Night or Monday Night Raw, they want to give you like 15 of the wrestlers, like current wrestlers who are in it. They
Right.
have like, and then obviously we know it's 30, so we don't know who the other 15 is, right?
Right.
So
Right.
my thing is,
So if he doesn't have a match,
he
at
no,
the
he doesn't.
pay-per-view, he
Sami
doesn't.
Zayn doesn't have a match on the pay-per-view. Remember, but the Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens is always that title match always happens before the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble was the last thing on the card, the men's one at least, right?
Right.
So something can happen in that Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn match, or maybe they betray Sami for whatever reason. Maybe he just goes into a Rumble to win it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, if all three of those guys are in him, and that makes for a good ass Royal Rumble because then it's unpredictable. You got
It
three
really
guys
is.
that you legitimately believe will win.
Yeah.
And I believe, and listen, I believe Stone Cold is going to be number 30. I
Yeah.
think Stone Cold is number 30. So,
If not 29, but yeah.
or 30, yeah, 29 to 30. He's going to be one of the last ones because he's old, so
Right.
he can't be in there that long. But yeah, this has the makings of a good Royal Rumble. If those three guys,
It does regard, yeah, because there's so much they can do, man, and I'm excited for it. That's for sure. But yeah, that's what I think. You agree?
With what? Cody Rhodes is winning?
Those three. Who? Give me your top three. Who wins the Royal Rumble?
Stone Cold.
Number one being more likely. Okay, that's Stone Cold. Who's
Okay,
second?
for me, number second is Cody Rhodes,
All right.
and number three, if he's in it,
Who?
I'm pretty sure Sami Zayn. Number
Maybe.
three,
Yeah.
if he's in,
Yeah.
if he's in it, if he's in
If
it,
he's
I'm
in
not
it,
sure if he's in it.
that's the
Yeah,
wild card. Okay. I can dig that for sure. Bet definitely. What about the women's one? Who do you think wins? The women's one is so that the women's Royal Rumble, they have no storylines in neither one. Like you have the Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair storyline, which is great. I love it.
yeah.
But you don't have. But as far as Charlotte goes, she's doing something with Sonya Deville, and it's like, whatever. But you really don't have like. There's no allure or no like big factor here.
No. But if I have to guess who, I think I might have to go with Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley's the likeliest one to win.
I think
the
she
women's
won. She won it. When did she face Charlotte for the title? Was it last
Did
year or the
she?
year before? Yeah.
Shit, I don't remember. A few years ago, and she lost, but she won the Royal Rumble. I don't remember. I don't remember
I
her
think
winning.
so. I think so.
I don't remember that at all. Well, regardless, I think she wins again this year because I don't see anybody else winning it.
I don't know, man. I don't know
Dude,
who else. Honestly, don't
got
know either.
freaking we Charlotte, and we got uh Bianca Belair still the champ.
Yeah.
So she could face either one. I'd rather see her against Bianca Belair instead of Charlotte, to be honest. So
This is where they WWE this is where WWE probably hopes they hoped they would have got something done to bring Sasha back in.
right.
And you never know, Sasha might just come back, right? But
I doubt it, especially since Vince McMahon is back in the company. I
yeah.
think she's as good as gone. She's gone.
Yeah, I don't see it either, man. I really don't see it either. Maybe you bring back Mandy Rose. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
But
didn't you hear the reports about Sasha Banks? They didn't see her as at the same level as Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair
yeah, they're
anymore.
wild.
They said that she peaked and this and that, even though she's still what 30 years old. Charlotte's like almost like what 37 years old, and they keep giving her the belt. She doesn't need to win a Royal Rumble or
And
Money in the Bank. She just shows up and they give her the belt.
this WWE is a sport. It's a real sport, but it's not like real sports where you have these guys in their primes and you go based off. I mean, you have like there's primes, but like in the NFL, for example, right? Tom
Mhm.
Brady in his late 20s, early 30s was like that's Tom Brady, like peak Tom Brady athletic, right?
Yeah,
Now in his early 40s, late 30s, early 40s, he's still performing at a high level, but it's not as but again, that's just based off him. In wrestling, there's no really such thing as peak because you control the narrative here.
right.
If that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but basically what I'm trying to say is in wrestling, right? This
Right.
is all
It's all
choreographed.
about it's all about the booking. How
Yes,
you book
yes.
them.
It's all
How you
about
book them.
creative. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you
Mhm.
control the narrative. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I
if
guess
if
I guess
if you feel like Sasha Banks peaked, that's your fault for not putting her in a position where she's still relevant. You know what I mean?
right. Exactly.
Yeah. I guess that's where I was trying to get to.
Mhm.
It's not like I hate comparing this to real sports, right? But it's not like
Right.
the NFL where it's like you go based off whether they're able to perform or not. You're like that's real, you
Right.
know, peak performance or whatever. But here, no, you control the narrative. You can make Sasha be a dominant force by the way how you book her. So if you feel like she peaked, that's
Yeah.
on you.
That's
You
on
know what I
them.
mean?
Yeah. And that's exactly why she left, because she asked for a certain amount of money. She wants to be put in terms. And so she's not even worth Becky Lynch money. And Becky Lynch is the biggest women's star there.
Right.
But I believe Sasha's definitely, right there with Becky Lynch. They just didn't book her they didn't book her. So
But I
she
think
left.
Becky Lynch is a great example. Becky Lynch was never thought of that way
No.
before. She was like how Sasha was, someone who was always in the middle card, just kind of like just there, never
Mhm.
really given an opportunity. And what happens
Right.
once she got over with the man character and like the crowd
Yeah.
started to really, really get behind her, Then
Yep.
WWE seen something in her, right? And they pushed her, and now it's consistent. Now they're just continuing to push her, put her against main event. That's all you got to do with Sasha Banks. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I remember it started with Nia Jax punching her in the face, legit,
Yeah,
and breaking her nose. I remember.
yeah,
And ever since then, she became a star.
yeah.
So
That's what I'm saying. Like that's basically just something like that. You know what I mean? Again, this is wrestling here. Like
but
this is still sports entertainment as well. So like you create the narrative, you control the narrative. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just
I agree. I agree. There's not much going on. There's really no real story going on with the women's Royal Rumble. But I gotta go if I have to pick. I mean, Rhea Ripley is the one that stands out to me as
yeah.
winning.
I think I'd agree.
Yeah, because the things that she's doing with Dominic Mysterio and the Judgment Day is also pretty good too.
Dude, Dominic is great. That whole storyline, dude. That the WWE is getting good. The Dominic going to jail, having the teardrop is so funny.
Dressed up like Conan.
Yeah.
that was good. That was good.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I do. I love it.
And which is his god. Conan is his godfather, so I'm sure he had some pointers. So there you go. All in the family.
Sorry. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Cut off.
Test. Okay. I'm back. My microphone. I unplugged my microphone. Sorry about that. All right. Anyways, but yeah. Conan being his godfather, I heard that. Yeah, and then got a lot of pointers for sure. But yeah, I have no clue, Ricky, on who's gonna win the women's Royal Rumble. I don't know.
Mhm.
WWE has not given, and it's not a good way. It's not like I don't know in a good way, like they're keeping us guessing. No, it's like they don't know how to build these the women stars. If I had to pick, it'd be Bailey.
Bailey?
I think so. I mean, who else? You know what I mean? Like, it can't be Becky Lynch again. Like that's gonna be so tiring.
Yeah.
I think it's Bailey maybe, and I don't know. Maybe Bailey faces Charlotte. I think that's different. I'll take that in a way. But it's like I don't know who else is it. Like there, unless you bring someone from NXT or you bring Mandy Rose back. I don't know.
No,
But
that
it's
ain't
like
happening.
you get what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
it's not. I'm stumped, but like not in a good ways because they don't know how to build women. They don't know how to build the stars there. They really don't.
Neither company does.
No, I would give AEW credit. Dr. Britt Baker, they built her great.
Yeah.
Right now she's right now they're kind of like stepping back because they don't want fatigue from her. But that's how you do it, and then Jade Cargill with that streak, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Like who's gonna be who's gonna face her next? Who's she gonna face?
And Jamie Hayter got over organically with the crowd too, and now she's a champ.
So I think they're getting better. They just need more stars in my book, or they need to.
And Bianca Belair, Bianca Belair too. She's still the top champ right there in the women's division. So
she's probably the only greatest. Well, again, they need to do right by Alexa Bliss. I love what I'm seeing. So, but you already have Alexa Bliss facing Bianca Belair already for the title, so it's like
yeah. So she's not in it then.
Yeah.
So all right. If you got Bailey, I got Rhea.
All right, there you go. You guys listen to Sports Drip Live alongside my brother from the same mother, Enrique Contreras. My name's Jose Contreras, guys. Wow, we did literally a whole hour of wrestling. not expected, but hey, man, I'll take it. I love wrestling. We love talking wrestling here with you guys. But this isn't just a wrestling show. We got to get into UFC 283, Ricky, which happened this past Saturday. Man, what a card. What a card. We had Glover Teixeira, Jamal Hill for the light heavyweight championship. We had a fourth fight with Davidson, Figueiredo, and Brandon Moreno for the flyweight championship. We saw Gilbert Burns in the welterweight division. And let's get into that one first, Ricky. Gilbert Burns defeated Neil Magny via submission round number 1. Gilbert Burns now 21-5. Last I checked on the rankings, hold on, let me tell you real quick. I think I know he's in the top 5. If I'm not mistaken, he's 4th. He is. Hold on, I'll tell you right now.
I think he's number 5, isn't he?
He's either 4th or 5. I know he is. No, he's 6. Really? Gilbert Burns is
Wow.
6 in the welterweight division. You have obviously the champ Leon Edwards. You have Kamaru Usman. Then you have Hazmat Chimaev. Then you have Bilal Muhammad.
Bilal Muhammad
Yeah, after
working his
Bilal
way
working his way up, just quietly.
just quietly. Yeah, exactly.
Quietly. I would, yeah, and then after him it's Kobe Covington and then Gilbert Burns. Um Gilbert Burns at 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, what a win
What a
in the
win.
first round. A first round with an arm triangle choke against a big lengthy guy like Neil Magny, who had
Yeah.
the taller, the had the longer reach. So yeah, he put on his wrestling and his jujitsu in full display. I thought he was gonna come out, throwing bombs like he likes to do, but we do remember that Gilbert Burns, he is a jujitsu based fighter. So as soon as he got him down on the ground, he didn't let him out, man. He put in
No,
that
that was
that
it.
no arm triangle choke, and
All
that was it, man. It's
all
just
she
like,
wrote.
hey, business is just like another day in the office for Gilbert Burns, I guess.
Gilbert Burns, who was recently ranked second in the welterweight division after he lost to Hazmat Chimaev. You saw
Which was
him
his,
drop,
that was the
right?
last that was the last fight. Yeah,
Was his last fight. He
before
comes
this one.
back again, and that was an impressive fight even for him. He like yes, like Hamza Chimaev shot up, right? But we
Yeah,
knew Gilbert Burns wasn't going to be someone just to lay back down, and we talked about it. Like that fight was a good fight. Gilbert Burns gave Hazmat all he had, and Hazmat Chimaev, who's ranked second, struggled against someone like Gilbert Burns. So Gilbert Burns,
yeah.
I feel like should move up, Ricky. Um, but this match against Magny was definitely something that he needed. Where do you see him? Where do you see this going forward for Gilbert Burns? Can you see him maybe having a title shot? Obviously, Kamaru Usman gets first. You got to think Chimaev, depending on where his head's at, he's in the mix. And then you still got Kobe Covington. You still got Kobe Covington, right?
I know
Who's everybody wants
where the hell's Kobe Covington
right.
at, huh? I
Exactly.
haven't heard
And then
him.
exactly. And then we just talked about Bilal Muhammad, who's ranked third right now, who just quietly moved up there. Like, what the hell's I guess basically, if you're Dana White in the UFC, you have a lot. You have a lot of options here. But what do you think happens next
Got
to
some
Gilbert
guys, yeah.
Burns?
For Burns, it's either gonna be against Bilal Muhammad, right? Or it could be
Right.
against Kobe Covington. That's what I'm thinking. It'll be his
Yeah.
next fight. It'll be either one of those guys. I don't know what Kobe's doing next. We've heard that he probably would fight, Hamzat Chimaev, but we don't know what the hell Hamzat Chimaev wants to do. We
Yeah,
haven't
we
we
really
haven't
don't.
really, if he wants to fight, continue in the welterweight division. Does he want to move up to middleweight? There's a back and forth between him and Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we don't know there. But as far as Gilbert Burns, yeah, it could be either Bilal or it could be Covington if Covington's ready to come back.
If I'm
Um,
Hamza
yep,
Chimaev, it's great. If I'm Hamza Chimaev, as great as you are, I want no part of Alex Pereira right now. I think you stay in the welterweight division. Um,
no,
that being
no,
said, Gilbert Burns did talk about Ricky, about Kobe Covington this past Saturday. He was like, he saw him recently. I think it was at a club or something, and Gilbert Burns thought he was going to fight Kobe Covington right then and there because he as many fighters don't respect Covington for, I guess, quote unquote snitching, calling the cops
big
on
mouth. Yeah.
yeah, on what's his name,
And Jorge Masvidal.
Jorge Masvidal. After that exchange, after he defeated him and all that, big time exchange. Jorge Masvidal came into and trying to fight him. Got the cops call on him, whatever. Everyone doesn't like Kobe Covington right now. Gilbert Burns talked about how he thought he was going to get into a fight with him, but
Mhm.
Kobe Covington was very cool, very welcoming, very warm. Basically saying, yeah, it's all for show. I'm just trying to sell tickets or whatever. And Gilbert Burns said he's actually a really cool guy, but he still wants
Yeah.
to fight him. So maybe that's next.
Maybe that's next. I mean, Kobe's got to do something.
Yeah,
He's sitting right there in that cushy spot at number 2. He needs to fight, and I think we haven't seen that fight between him and Burns yet. So that'll be a fresh matchup right there, man. As far as Masvidal, man, that dude, when the fuck is that guy gonna fight? That dude, that dude is already pushing 40, man, and he actually was supposed to fight Gilbert Burns. That was a fight that was being rumored to be made, and he just backs out, thinking that he's gonna get a fight with Leon Edwards, which I don't think is gonna happen, and he does not deserve it. He's all
right.
the way down. He's all the way down to number 11, so he's almost out the rankings. The more inactive he is, he'll be out of there.
Oh man, I'm trying to look at the rankings here.
Yeah,
The welterweight division, man, they have a lot. You have a lot of young stars. You have a lot of good guys.
yeah,
And with now Kamara Usman being dethroned, to me it makes it that much more interesting.
yeah. And
It
then
really
and then now,
does.
wait, yeah, which we haven't mentioned either. Yeah, the trilogy fight,
Yeah,
286 between
286.
yeah, Leon
That's
Edwards and
happening.
Kamaru Usman. So there we go. So he didn't have a broken hand after all. There was rumors there that he got injured or something like that. His hand was
Yep.
hurt, but not true. He's ready. He'll be ready to go.
Yep.
Try to get his belt back. Try to get his belt back.
He'll be ready to go. Absolutely. But yeah, but going back to this 283, Ricky Gilbert Burns winning. Hopefully, we can see him move up the ranks. I would love to see him in title contention again because the guy deserves it for sure, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Especially with this win. Yeah, he showed why he's in the top 5 for sure.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Co-main event to me was a great one.
Yeah,
I'm it, man, I was. It's almost fitting that it ended the way it did because it was like there's always controversy with these two guys facing each other, man.
yeah,
Davison Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno, fourth fight for the flyweight championship. This was deemed to be the last fight between the two, right?
yep,
The one to end the rivalry. I personally feel like there should be another one, but I get it. Regardless of the fact, you know, you gotta defend yourself at all times. Figueiredo losing to Brandon Moreno, what was considered a knockout TKO, but it was a doctor stoppage because Figueiredo could not see after Brandon Moreno punched him with his knuckle. It was his right eye
yeah,
that was like closed shut,
yeah. That
closed
one
shut.
shot just completely shut his eye up. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that was what, in
nasty.
the second round. In the second round that happened. In the third
Yeah,
round, right before the third
yep,
round happened, they were like, "That's it, done."
yeah.
Doctor
Yeah,
stoppage.
there was yeah, and there was some confusion there because some people thought that he poked him in the eye.
Yeah.
They thought it was
Yep.
a poke. As a matter of fact, he reacted as if he got poked. Once that punch landed, he reacted that he got poked, like he got poked, and then he went down, and then that was it. That eye completely went shut. But when they showed the replay, he did hit him with what they call the thumb knuckle, which is like right here.
Yeah.
Literally got him right in the eye, and then just completely shut his eye. So yeah, and that's all fair game. He got him with a good shot. He came in with it too, which made it even worse. He came charged right in with that punch,
Yep.
and that was it, man. Either way, leading up to the third round, he was dominant.
He really was.
He Davidson Figueroa was not able to get anything going. It's
No.
almost like Figueiredo's known for that big right hand that he has, and
Yeah.
he's caught Moreno before in the past fight in these past 3 fights with it. And what I saw with Moreno, he was able to avoid it. He learned from the past fights that he had with Figueiredo, and he avoided that big right hand and pretty much just shut him down. There was
Right.
nothing Figueiredo was able to do. He did almost get him with I believe it might have been a guillotine almost. I think it was may have been in the first or second round. He almost got nearly got him with the guillotine, but Moreno got out and that was it, man. Moreno dominated this fight. So
No. Yeah. No, he did. He did. And you're right. And I guess that's why I feel like, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe everybody's right. This is it. This should have been it. Because
yeah,
he was so dominant leading up to that third round. And like you said, it's all fair game. You know what I mean? You didn't like again, like you got hit with it.
mhm.
Your eyes was completely shut. If that fight would have went on, you would have been at a complete disadvantage. And obviously
Took a lot
safety
more damage. Yeah,
yeah,
he took a
safety
lot more damage.
first, right? So yeah, no credit to Brandon Moreno, man. I love Brandon Moreno. I really do. I love his
Yeah,
passion, his fieriness. He puts himself in a position to win, and he did that against Davison Figueiredo, Ricky, and this is it, supposedly, right? This is supposed to be the last fight. I would love to see it again if it made sense. If Figueiredo climbs the top again, why not? Right?
right.
You fight the best fighters in your division. But for someone like Brandon Moreno, who's next? What's next? What happens from here? Obviously, you take some time off a little bit. You celebrate this win,
Hmm.
but then eventually you're gonna have to get back on the grind because now you're the champ again. He has to defend it against somebody other than Davis and Figueiredo.
Yeah,
Who do you think that's gonna be?
it's looking like it's going to be Alexander Pantoja, who I think is number 2 or 1 in the rankings right now. The rankings have not been updated, but he's up there. So he's already taken care of Kai Kara France twice
Right.
already. But Pantoja, I think, is an intriguing matchup for him, and that'll probably be his next opponent. I'm pretty sure because I think they even had a scuffle backstage. I think after the event, so that'll be the next guy for him for sure. As far as Davison Figueiredo for him, he announced that he's moving up to 135 pounds, the bantamweight division.
Yeah.
So he's going in there with Sterling, with Sean O'Malley, Peter Yan. Good luck, man. there's that's a whole different division right there, man. In that
Really is.
that bantamweight division. So we'll see how he does there. But yeah, as far as Moreno, yeah, Pantoja's next.
That'll be a great fight. If it's Alexander Pantoja, I'd take it. I'd take
Yeah,
it but for someone like Brandon Moreno, you're in a position for to be a dominant champion. You just got to prove it. You just got to go out there and do exactly what you've been doing, and prove it. Just defend that title, man. You can't be losing it back and forth. But credit to him for winning once again, representing Mexico, Ricky. You
yes,
know,
sir. great
great country of Mexico. So yeah, congrats to Brandon Moreno. Great fight all around. And yeah, I thought it was a great fight. I thought it was good. I thought it could have been better, but you know, definitely a win
Well,
for
just
sure.
yeah, for sure.
Definitely a win. You guys listen to Sports Drip Live once again alongside my brother. My name's Jose Contreras. That is Enrique Contreras right there. And we're talking UFC 283. Get into the main event, light heavyweight championship. Glover Teixeira, Jamal Hill. This was a vacant light heavyweight championship, obviously with the injury of Proshka. So here we are, Ricky. Glover Teixeira, Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
Take us in. What happened? This went to decision. They went all
Ooh,
5 rounds into decision. But man, what a
it's e-
fight!
it's everything you expected from a Glover Teixeira fight, man.
Facts.
This guy, he does. He's too tough for his own good. He even said it in the post fight in his post fight interview. Too tough for his own good, man. He's in there. He was in there banging with Jamal Hill, the much younger Jamal Hill. He wanted to win the title for the second time. Nobody thought he would win it against Jan Blachowicz when he did at his
Right.
age. So he was looking for lightning to strike twice again for him. But unfortunately, Jamal Hill was a much younger cat
Yep.
and power in his hands. I mean, if anything, right here in this fight, they said that Jamal Hill landed the most significant strikes in light heavyweight history in the UFC.
Jeez.
I think it was in the 200s. I think it was like 238, I believe. Significant strikes against Glover Teixeira.
Wow.
All those strikes that Teixeira, and you saw it in his face. The dude was just
Yeah.
busted
He
up.
was out. Yeah, he was gone.
He was busted up
Yep.
really bad. I mean, and Jamal, I was surprised too because I came into this fight. I had Glover Teixeira winning by submission. I'll admit it. But Jamal Hill came in with a perfect game plan. He stuffed because Teixeira was trying to go for the takedowns early, and he
Yep.
went for he got. I think he might have got two or three submissions throughout the fight, but he had many attempts, and Jamal Hill stuffed most of them, stuffed most of them. So he showed really good wrestling defense. He showed a lot of really good striking too. He landed so many hard punches, so many kicks, especially the kicks. He landed many kicks that stunned Teixeira. So in the end, this was pretty much this was a clinic. It was a beatdown. But Teixeira was still there. He didn't go down. He didn't quit. He went all 5 rounds. He went out on his shield. Well,
Yep.
sort of. He wasn't knocked out, but he went out. He went out as a warrior, like a warrior,
Yeah,
like they like
absolutely.
to say. And
You
Jamal Hill's the new light heavyweight champion.
yeah.
So
Both
when
deserve
nobody when
credit.
nobody when nobody expected it,
Nobody.
this match was pretty much put together last minute because of the whole Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz draw, which
Yep.
was supposed to crown a new champion, and it didn't. And Dana White just put this match together. He was like, okay, well, Teixeira versus Jamal Hill done. So there we go.
Well, we know as an like and rightfully so in the UFC, if one match or one fighter doesn't go on right on to the next, right? You have to, right? That's why I'm saying that's part of the reason why another reason why I love this sport is that this sport waits for nobody.
Right.
It doesn't wait for nobody. Now it does give you. I think it does give some people, um, you know, I guess unfair championship matches when they come out of a 3 or 4 year hiatus out of nowhere, right? But whatever, that's just me. I'm not a
Right.
fan of that, but I get it. money talks. But regardless of the fact, you're right.
Yep.
This match was put together, but it ended up being a good fight. Ended up being a good fight for sure.
Very good fight.
And credit to both guys because as you mentioned, as far as Teixeira goes, still tough. Went out. You the way you left, nothing but respect.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
He
that's
not
a
he announced and he announced his retirement too after
Yeah, he did. He
this fight.
announced retirement, and that's the way a fighter would want to go out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. I
With the
mean,
way
yeah,
he
most fighters want to,
was
yeah,
like,
most fighters will want to go out with a win, but you that's rare. It's very rare when a fighter, leaves the sport unscathed and they it's just a very very tough way to make a living. And he
yeah,
wasn't the only one. Shogun Hua also that night. Yeah, he
yeah,
had a fight and yeah, he looked pretty bad in that fight. Looked his age. I think he should have retired a while back. He did get knocked out. We saw two legends retire. You know, two one of the greatest Brazilian fighters in the UFC in mixed martial arts history. So
yep. Jose
you know,
Aldo and Glover Teixeira.
yeah, and Shogun Hua too.
Shogun, who was another one. Yep.
Yep,
Yeah, no, you're right. But like I said, to me, it's a way you would want to leave as far as like, you don't get knocked out. You show your toughness.
yeah,
You're a fighter. You know what I mean? That's a fighter's fight right there. That's
right.
definitely a fighter's fight.
And he's
Who's
definitely
next?
made history.
Yeah. For Jamal Hill, this is everything you ever dreamed of. You got into the sport for this exact reason, to be named champion, to be on top of the hill. Now you're on top of the hill. Now
Yep,
and rightfully so. You deserved every minute, every moment that you got on Saturday. And credit to him. Put up a great performance, great fight. But who's next, Ricky? You still have Jiri Prochazka, as you said, Ankalev, who was also supposed to fight for a championship fight. If you're Dana White, which one makes sense to you? Who comes out? Who comes in first to face the newly crowned champion Jamal
right,
Hill?
right. I agree. You said Yuri Prohaska. You said Magomed Ankalaev, but I'm gonna throw you another name. And I sent you this text earlier, man. Did you see after he won when Alex Pereira, who is Glover Teixeira's teammate, when he approached him,
Oh my God!
dude? Okay, look, it's something that kind of went viral a little bit, but
Yeah,
he, Alex Pereira, he just, he approached Jamal Hill to shake his hand, show some sportsmanship, but though with the way that he looked at him, he gave him that look, man, like that death stare.
now you're next. That
Like
Goldberg, you're next.
and then it was amazing how much bigger he was than Jamal Hill. We're
Crazy.
talking we're talking
That's a middleweight, guys.
the middleweight, 185 pounds, and then taller and much bigger than the 205 pound champion Jamal Hill. But he gave him that look, man. He gave him that, like he was sizing him up, and he was just looking like giving him that death stare. It was like, you know what? Congratulations, but if I want to, I can move up to 205 and bring that belt back to share MMA and fitness.
Congratulations, but I'm next, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Dude,
that
seriously.
isn't that is an intriguing fight right there. That right there, sign me up. If he wants to move up to 205 pounds, he definitely could do it.
Oh yeah,
If he wants to
100%.
be a double champion, if he wants to try to be a double champion, he could definitely go up and try to do it. A fight between Alex Pereira and Jamal Hill. Holy shit, man.
If you're Alex Pereira, imagine this. You still have the threat of oh my God, of Israel Adesanya in the middleweight division. You know
Right.
he's gonna want to come back and he wants the title back. You still have that threat. Then you have Hazmat Chimaev, who's a welterweight, trying to move up to face you. And now you're talking about maybe pissing off the light heavyweight champion and facing him. Like, what is going on here? If you're Alex
Oh
Pereira,
man.
you want all
Dude.
the smoke. It doesn't matter. Whatever division,
Oh.
it seems like you want all the smoke. You want Hazmat Chimaev, you want this, come up here. Israel, you already know I'll knock you out again. And then, like, you know what? I'll even move up and try to take that life. Dude, I love that.
Dude,
I
it's
love
it's
that.
it's it's amazing. It's amazing. It's just like, we don't know how long Yuri Prohaska, because he had a very serious shoulder injury, so we don't know how
Yeah.
much longer he's gonna be out. Um, but if you ask me, outside of Yuri Prohaska, I'm not interested in Magomed Ankalaev. I'm more interested in Alex Pereira. I think intriguing matchup for Jamal Hill, dude. Outside of Yuri Prohaska.
Yeah. I mean
Oh,
that's definitely a good one for sure. Can't go wrong with Ankalaev, but if Pereira wants to move up, but as I'm saying, if you're Dana White, you're like, you know what? I have no shortage of fights here for someone like Alex Pereira. Everybody wants to fight him, seems like, or he wants to fight everybody. So
Yeah. So
definitely.
yeah, Jamal Hill definitely he realized his dream. He's the champion, but now bullseye on him. So he has
Oh yeah.
about 3 or 4 guys coming at that want to come after his belt. You gotta add in Jan Blachowicz, even Anthony Smith too.
Yep.
Is there too? So yeah,
That's the
so
champion's curse, man. Once, yeah, like it's everything you want for it, but then that's something you soak in the moment, you take that in, and then you get ready because now you have that bullseye on your back. You're the target now. Now everybody wants what you want, right? You wanted what you have for so long. You knew the grind, you knew everything it took to get to there. Now guess what? Somebody's gonna go through that same exact grind you did with that same exact fire you had to go and knock you out. And that's the champion's curse, man. Once you have it,
yeah,
how long can you keep it?
yeah,
So he's gonna learn, but right now, congrats to him. He deserves it,
yeah.
and that's
You're
not
right.
Ricky. That's UFC 283, man. Not a bad card, um, but it seems like everybody's waiting. Everybody's talking about this next one, UFC 285. Not the next one, but UFC 285, because of the news that we got that John Bones Jones is coming back. It's official. He will face for the heavyweight championship, but it's not against Francis Ngannou, as he is done with the UFC.
Mhm.
He was the current champion, undisputed champion, left it. He left the UFC. We'll get into that.
Hey,
We'll get into that.
mhm,
But let's talk about now that the UFC heavyweight championship is vacant. You bring in
mhm.
John Jones back, and now he's going to face Cyril Gahn for that fight. First and foremost, what's your reaction when you found out that these two guys were going to go for the now vacant heavyweight championship?
I was surprised. I was maybe not as surprised because I was wondering what was going on with Francis Ngannou. Like is this
Yeah,
dude coming back, or I started to get the feeling like he was actually going to leave. Ultimately, I thought that he was going to reach some sort of deal with the UFC, and it didn't happen. So I was like, whoa. I guess he really wants to go and box Tyson Fury. He really wants to go make that money.
yeah.
So he left. Even though well, we'll get into that. But yeah,
No,
back
we
up.
can talk about it
Back,
now. I mean, it's all both the same thing. It's all the same
right,
story,
right,
right?
right,
This
right, right,
match
right.
between Jones and Gahn is only happening because Francis Ngannou's gone. He
Yeah,
left,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you're
Well,
right because he wanted to fight. He wanted to box. He wanted health insurance. He came out, interviews saying that he asked for the UFC for so much, right? It's not a lot, right? But he asked for health insurance. He asked for um, a union to represent fighters, and then UFC said no, more money, obviously, and they were like, no, they said no to every single one of them,
right.
you know.
Supposedly that they offered him a lot of money, and so that's according to Dana White, probably the most in heavyweight history. But he turned it down because he didn't get everything else that he wanted, the health insurance, the boxing fight, whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah, so yeah, I was surprised, but now we have another intriguing matchup between John Jones and Cyril Gahn. Cyril Gahn, heavyweights we've seen now recently in modern times. One of the dude moves around like a middleweight.
right,
Dude is very very quick, moves around, moves in and out, hard kick, really hard. But we don't know what his ground game is yet, right? Because John
right.
Jones is a high level wrestler too, as
Yep,
well.
high level.
So, and not only that, but Francis, when he fought Francis Ngannou took him down easily, and Ngannou was never known for his wrestling. And he was also fighting on a real bad knee injury. So we'll see what improvement Cyril Gahn does, because he's gonna need to do it against what many consider the greatest of all time in John Jones.
Yeah, we'll definitely preview that matchup. Well, I would say this about that matchup. This I feel like this is a this is Dana White's fu to Francis Ngannou. That's fine. You want to leave? Go ahead and leave. We're gonna bring back our biggest star ever in John
Mhm.
Jones, and we're gonna give him, to me, what I think is a favorable fight for him to win the championship. And why do I say that? Because you just mentioned it. You had Cyril Gahn lose to somebody who just started picking up wrestling for that fight with a bad knee,
Yeah.
and he dominated you in the ground game. You don't think someone like John Jones, a decorated wrestler, someone who's dominant on the ground, is not going to come in and do the exact same thing and whoop your ass again? You know,
Bring
like,
down those elbows.
that's like, you know what I mean? Like, and it sucks for Cyril. Maybe he works on it. Maybe it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't, right? But
Right.
come on, like, looking at it now, it's like, dude, like, if you couldn't defeat this guy with a bad knee, who's taking you to the ground, what makes you think you're going to beat this guy who's like 100 times better? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a
But
tough.
it's also too like what does John Jones have left? He's been inactive for 3 years.
Absolutely.
This is the first time he's gonna fight a heavyweight.
Yeah,
He's packing a lot more weight than what he did, fighting at 205. So
that's true too. That's a good point too. So yeah,
it'll be
there's
intriguing.
there's advantages and
Definitely.
disadvantages.
Like we said, as the time gets near, we'll get more into depth.
Right. Yeah, we'll get more into the fight. Ricky, you're freezing up a little bit, but yeah, we'll get more into the fight. We'll talk about that more as UFC 285 looms. I believe it's in March. But Francis Ngannou leaving the UFC, tough, not surprising. As my brother mentioned before, it's something that we've seen coming. He's been in and out with talks with Dana White, the UFC, wanting to leave, wanting more money, wanting health insurance, wanting a whole bunch of stuff, and he didn't get it. So this was the boiling point. This was the, this is what set him to the edge, and now he's gone. It sucks for UFC because he was the undisputed champion. He was the dominant champion that reigned over that entire division. And it just seems like we're not going to see the fight that we all thought we were going to see between him and John Bones Jones. That would have been a great fight. That, to me, is a lot more intriguing than John Jones and Cyril Gane. As we bring my brother back in here, Ricky, what's up, man?
Yo.
But I was talking about, it's not like you mentioned it, and I agree. It's not surprising that Francis Ngannou left. I feel like it was getting to this point because there's been talk even before the Cyril Gane fight that he's been wanting to leave and do other things anyways, right? So it's like, it's not surprising that it happened. It just sucks because I felt like that Ngannou and John Jones fight would have been so much better. It would have been so much more intriguing. You know what I mean? It would have been so much more enticing, and us as fans, we're getting raw from it.
Yeah, I agree. You hear me, right?
Yeah, I hear you good.
We're all good. We're all good now.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think we were robbed of a fight between John Jones and Francis Ngannou. I was looking very much forward to that fight, but it is what it is. Francis Ngannou has other ambitions, so I guess it's going to be one of those fights in UFC history that we could say, what would have happened if these two would have fought. I guess this is destined to be one of those.
Yeah, destined to be one of those. Sucks, but it happens, man. It is what it is. And that's just how it rolls. All right, Ricky, let's end this show on a much lighter note. Really, not really, right? But there's been Dana White. It came out with this whole new league called Dana White's Power Step League.
Yeah,
it's on. Warner Brother owns it. It's on what, TBS?
Yeah, immediately after AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, you can catch it right after AEW. It's something. Like, I don't know. I get it. I get why he did it. He's just trying. I guess he's trying to be innovative, something new. This Power Step thing, you've seen a lot of it on social media. I've seen a lot of clips from it, not just from Dana White, but even before Dana White. Like, I would see like other
Facebook
leagues,
news feed and stuff like that. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
other leagues that did it, and it was always so interesting. I guess Dana White took whiff of it, and now he has his own league. What do you think about it? Because it's kind of comical, to be honest with you.
It's a little, yeah. I find it funny that there's actually people willing to stand right there and take a slap full force in the face. I mean, yeah. There's people stupid enough to do that, man.
Hey, money talks, man. Money talks.
It does. Listen, I'm like you. I started seeing this stuff on Facebook, on YouTube, TikTok, all this stuff. I was seeing like clips of it before Dana White started this whole thing.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, it got me a little into, because I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen here? Who's gonna get knocked out, right?
Right.
I watched some clips of this Power Slap League thing, right? That Dana White started, and it's like, when I first saw it, I was like, man, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen, man. Like, really. it's also like the format of his show is like the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
They're all in the same, you know, mm, hotel, whatever, and you know, drumming up some feelings so that way they can slap each other harder or whatever. You know,
Right. Right.
so yeah, that was my initial thought. Like, this is so dumb, man. Who does? I mean, why would somebody do this? Why would somebody risk a concussion to do that? But then as I started watching, I saw for some reason I couldn't look away as it kept going.
That's why.
I couldn't. There we go. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop watching. I'm like, whoa! Like, these guys are slapping the shit out of each other, and then you know, and
Yeah.
then not to mention Dana White. You know, perfect promotion, slapping his own wife on New Year's Eve, pushing this thing up a week, and then you
Look,
know,
look, I've done some marketing. You know, I've done some marketing for a company before. I don't think that's how you. I don't think that's how you market anything, man. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
How apropos is it, right? Right before your power slap comes out, you slap your wife. It's not funny, right?
Right.
It's just it's
She started it though. She started it.
no. It's not funny that he did it. What's funny is the fact that how coincidental is like that happened literally right before his power slap thing came out, and again, it sucks. And if you're Dana White,
Yeah.
you know, like what the hell, dude? Like, which by the way, we never really talked about it because you weren't here for that show. But like right after it happened, I was like, what the hell, dude? Like, he took. It's almost like he says that he took like all like he's very remorseful of it. Like he's like, oh, I'm sorry, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's like there's no real consequence to that happening.
Right. Right. Even though she did it first, you know, if you watch the video,
Yeah, I get it, but
they were both drunk. She slapped them,
there's
and
still no excuse.
it was a
No excuse
react.
for the woman.
There's no
Yeah,
excuse, but it was a reaction. You know, we're all human. We make mistakes. At least he apologized for it, but you know,
yeah,
yeah, there's still no excuse. But hey, what hell of a promotion though. I say hell of a promotion,
yeah.
and pretty much as a result of it, TBS did push it a week.
Yeah, because of it, because of that
Yeah.
consequence. But come on, like if there is a domestic violence accusation or anything that happens with one of his fighters, you know he's going to be in full force, you know, to and rightfully so to suspend that person. But it's like, okay, but where's your suspension? Where's your consequence? Where's your fine?
Well,
You know
it's
what I
just
mean?
like we talked about earlier, man. You know, TBS, Warner Brothers Discovery, they didn't allow Tony Khan to do a tribute show for a man who passed away, who made a mistake, you know, a decade ago. But they allowed Dana White, after
Yeah,
he slapped his wife, to appear on their network and allow his power slapping league to appear directly after AEW Dynamite.
yeah, that's
What a man, yeah, man.
makes
Fuck TBS, man.
makes no sense. Yeah,
For real.
unless TBS wants to take us in for a shenanigans.
Right.
Show me the money, baby. No,
Yeah,
no,
but speaking of numbers though, it didn't do so well in the ratings, even though it had a lead in from AEW Dynamite.
right.
Dynamite that week did over 900,000 viewers, total viewers, and immediately after the Power Slap League did over like 200 and some thousand viewers. So
Ricky, would you be in the power slap league against me? Would you go on there, slap the shit out of each other?
you know, I practiced my slap, and I got a very mean slap. So you better watch what
I,
you say, man. If
look,
you really want to do it.
look, I'm not gonna ask how or with what. We're gonna leave that behind. We're gonna leave that behind closed doors. No, I'm just right. Slap your kid.
Right. Yeah, and then my son, little Ricky, he showed me a video. I don't know if you saw the one viral video of that one guy who, it was another league where he got slapped so much on his face that it started to droop, like it was like this,
Yeah,
like he was having a stroke or some shit, bro. Like it was bad, and he somehow still won.
yeah.
He somehow
I
still
don't
won.
know if we're ready to incorporate Power Slap on Sports Drip Live. We'll wait for it. We'll wait for it to get a little bit bigger before we do all that. But
Nah.
definitely, definitely something we'll keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean,
But this,
it's still. I think the concept is dumb still, but it's entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. I get a kick. I just get a kick out of hearing that smacking noise, and then dude's just passing out like, "Yeah, you idiot! Why you let the dude slap you in the face?"
yeah, the clip I saw,
You know, obviously Dana White gets a kick out of it too.
The main clip I saw was the girl after she got stabbed. She did like a little roll, like a little like a rollover because she
Yeah.
was out of it. You're right, man.
Yeah.
That's CTE. That's CTE ready to happen, man.
It really is. There was another guy who got knocked, and he did what they call the fencing. Like his hands went like that. Like he got it really bad, bro. That's bad. That is bad.
Yeah, I give it.
That's why.
I give it a season and it's gone.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
think so too.
I think it's gonna flop. I really do. That's just me.
Yeah,
We're not
I think so
flopping
too.
though. We're not gonna flop. We're not flopping here. There's no flopping here at Sports Drip Live, and that's exactly what you guys witnessed today. Sports Drip Live, alongside my brother Enrique Contreras. My name's Jose Contreras. Again, you guys are watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. You guys can catch us on Instagram, on TikTok. As far as every other platform I just mentioned, if you guys want to follow us. You should follow us. We're great follow on all platforms for sure. What a show, Ricky. We did an hour and a half. Great show, great topics, really good conversation. If you guys are watching this is a pre-recorded episode. We'll try to go live next week. But regardless of the fact, we're glad for you guys watching. We're glad for you guys to interact. And we'll definitely be here weekly next week for sure. We appreciate you guys watching. Ricky, anything you want to say before we end the show?
All right. Yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. Thanks for watching us and supporting us. And we'll be back next week with some more MMA and wrestling news for you guys. So thanks again, guys.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks again for watching. For Enrique Contreras, my name is Jose Contreras. We appreciate you.